Do you want to experience the thrill of a Packers game at Lambeau Field? If so, be sure to get your game tickets from the longtime trusted source in Wisconsin, Ticket King. Visit their locations in Milwaukee and Green Bay, or just go to their website, theticketking.com. Again, that's theticketking.com.
And now, for fans of the 13-time NFL champion Green Bay Packers, this is Cheesehead TV Live.
Cheetahs don't stretch and neither do we.
I think you're an idiot, and I mean that with the most respect possible that I can give to an idiot.
Packers Hall of Fame quarterback Jay Cutler.
It's not as fun to say as equanimous.
That is a perfect example of a wrong opinion. Ring the bell. Things need to happen if they want to make the playoffs. Inactives today, Jeremy. This is it is your privilege each and every week to tell the people who will not be suiting up for the Green Bay Packers. Have at it.
There's really only two that matter.
But
so I'm going to Tim Boyle, obviously, Kendall Donnerson, Natrell Jamerson, Adam Pankey, and Nico Saragusa, and then the two that hurt the most. Brian Bulaga and Kenny Clark will not play today. No Kenny Clark.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a surprise to me because he came back and finished last week even though he hurt his elbow, so it must be worse than thought, and the Packers are thinking long-term here. I kind of joked when I saw it on the inactive report. You know, the Packers have been running these give-up plays with McCarthy on third down. It'll be third and long, and they just run like this stupid draw, and obviously they just want to punt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is the ultimate give-up play is sitting Kenny Clark in the most pivotal game of your season and one in which you're playing against one of your toughest rivals this year. Not normally, but this year. You know, it's the last time this game mattered was 2020, the NFC Championship game. We talked about it on our show on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers is still playing. It's a sunny day in Chicago. It's 40 degrees. It's not as cold as it typically would be at this time of year. Remember in 2007, that awful game in Chicago at the end of the season where it was like the wind chill was like minus 15 and Favre didn't even want to play at all.
Anymore, and you could just see
so bad.
He did not like
Packers
it.
got run out of the gym. I mean, it was ugly. I think Urlacher had a pick 6 in that game and all kinds of bad stuff. So offensively, Jason Spriggs is going to line up at right tackle, and that happens to be the side of that Khalil Mack lines up on.
That's right.
So everybody's worried about that matchup. They should be. The Packers Wires headline is Sunday in Chicago is audition day for Packers right tackle Jason Spriggs. Only if he is auditioning to play the role of somebody who gets murdered in whatever show or movie they are playing.
Gosh, I can't feel good about this game with Jason Spriggs starting it.
A healthy Brian Bulaga one-on-one against Khalil Mack scares me. So obviously Jason Spriggs by himself, that ain't gonna work. I don't know what Joe Philbin's got up his hat, but he's gonna have to roll help and protection that way. But the Bears are gonna be ready for it.
All right, before we go too much further into offense, I just want to say, if you're on YouTube, you're listening to the show and you enjoy it, make sure you hit that like button, and also make sure you subscribe to the Cheesehead TV YouTube channel. Don't miss out on that. Right away, we have a comment that says Jason Spriggs is going to get destroyed. So nobody's real optimistic about Jason Spriggs. I
think that comment was put on our page like a week ago, and it's just evergreen.
It's just there forever. All right, we should dive into the offense a little bit.
Offense. Rodgers does this better than anybody. End zone, Cobb, touchdown! Unbelievable!
All right, so offensively, Aaron Jones is a running back. Just so the Packers know this. I hope they're listening. Aaron Jones is a running back on your roster. He wears number 33.
Please put him in the football game.
He would be a good option to start the game with.
Yeah.
Start the game with. First snap. Literally. First snap. In fact, I want to be the first player off the sideline onto the field to get into the huddle.
Yeah.
Just so I know
that
the
they're
Packers
committed.
are aware that he's on the roster.
They're going with him. They're not going to mess around today.
So
Can't mess around today.
Joe Philbin's debut last week, and Jamal Williams is the starting tailback against who they played? The Falcons last week. Right. And so old habits die hard. And Philbin is an extension of McCarthy, so there you have it. You got this weird Jones, Jamal Williams rotation.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones needs to run a lot today because he's got to get warmed up. The Bears are only giving up. They're the second best run defense in the league in terms of how many yards a game they're giving up. Just over 83 a game. That's not a lot. Aaron Jones is going to have to be a big factor today. If the Packers are going to win, he's going to have to play above his head.
They're going to need to use him out of the backfield to catch the ball. They're not going to be able to run against this defense as consistently as we hope or want. I don't think that's going to happen. So they're going to need to be throwing the ball out of the backfield. I think the goal today for the offense has to be tons of quick passes, using the check down, throwing over the middle, screen plays. How can Aaron Rodgers get the ball out of his hands as fast as possible? That has to be goal number one.
If he's okay, I've been saying this all week. I think I might have said it to you on the last show. The second we see Aaron Rodgers dancing around in the pocket today, even one time, fold it up, load up the truck, and drive out. So they're done.
He can't do what he's been doing. We can't have
the second he
the
starts
same
dancing
Packers
around in the pocket
right.
and holding onto the ball. It's over.
It's a different story today. The thing that they did against the Bears in week 1 that worked so well, they came out in the second half and they went to a quick passing offense and they dinked and dunked their way downfield and they destroyed the Bears in the second half. That was fantastic. And then they went away from it. Like that. So you struggle in the first half, you come out in the second half and you change what you're doing and you go to the quick pass, and then after that game, it disappears again. Which was very Mike McCarthy. That was we had been seeing that for a few years where they would have success with the short passes and then Mike would go away from it. So hopefully that would be the difference with Joe Philbin today, is that Philbin goes with that quick pass scheme. He sticks to that and lets that be the thing that puts it together for them.
I was just checking to see if the Vikings game was at the same time. It is. It's an early game.
Okay.
And obviously, there's considerations around the league. There's a lot of things the Packers that need to happen if in addition to Green Bay winning, if they want to continue their playoff pursuit.
Right.
So there's a couple of games that Packers fans should be watching today, as well as their own, if they want to keep things going and in the direction towards the playoffs. So in the passing game, Jimmy Graham. There's been a lot written this week about Jimmy Graham and his disappointment. He came out and spoke to the media, rare occurrence, and said, "My numbers suck."
Yeah, he's not happy with it.
And he's not happy with it either. But, the Packers, when they signed him, my concern was that you're signing a name probably a couple of years too late. I mean, if the Seahawks were willing to move on from him, there's probably a reason. And he does not have the leg ability anymore. His route running has not been good. He has not caught a couple of passes that he probably should have that would have gone miles for the Packers.
Yep.
I have a feeling that it's going to catch up with the Packers today.
I refuse to give up on Jimmy Graham.
I'm not giving up on him. I just think that it's going to manifest itself in the form of that he'll be open or he'll be needed in a key spot, and I don't trust him to deliver.
That's fair. This year, that's fair. I want to reset next year. I want them to keep him around for next year and do a reset with Jimmy Graham and see what happens. And then after that, you can cut him on the cheap. So I'm not giving up on Jimmy Graham yet. He has had some issues this season. Part of it is that the Packers have kept trying to use him as a traditional tight end, and he's not that. He's never been that.
So you want to keep him next year too, you're saying?
Yes, I want him back next year.
Okay, I now agree with you. I was not on this train before, but here's why. Because I like Robert Tonyan, and Tonyan is your move tight end. You've got to get him involved in the passing game. Jimmy Graham is your novelty tight end you keep on the roster for veteran leadership. Lance Kendricks is out the door after this season. I for them to keep Mercedes Lewis as well, but the team
And
probably feels differently.
Actually use him?
Team probably
Maybe.
feels differently, and they'll probably draft one, which they do need to do. They need
They
to add
need
some
to
speed.
draft
and
one.
they need to add some speed and use at the tight end position. I have this funny feeling Jimmy Graham, and if they are trying to use Jimmy Graham as a blocker today, that might be 1B in terms of it's over, forget it, fold it up. Aaron Rodgers dancing around in the pocket and Jimmy Graham trying to block are two things that the Packers cannot do. And then number 3 is Aaron Jones underusage.
I'm not ready to commit to Robert Tonyan as anything in this offense until he shows me a little bit more. But he needs the opportunity to do so as well.
Right.
He's been good on special teams. He's had a few big plays on the offense. Consistency is the thing that that's the important thing to get me locked in to say he's something for the future of this offense. If he is that receiving threat type tight end. That is what he does. So I'm not committed to Robert Tonyan, but I do agree with you. They absolutely have to draft one or obtain a young tight end at some point in this offseason. They have to do it.
Yeah, that's going to be a position of need. So on the offensive line, we talked about Spriggs at right tackle. That's going to be one to watch. It's going to be scary. You also have Justin McCray playing at right guard. He started week 1. He didn't have a great game. So he's in there. Lane Taylor's back at left guard, which is helpful. David Bakhtiari's his usual self. Corey Linsley having a great year. I say quietly because not a lot of people are talking about him, but he got a lot of love in the.
He also got fined
in
this
the
week.
in the Journal.
He got fined for that fight this week, which I'm surprised that I did not see. I don't remember his name. Number 41 for the Falcons, throwing a punch last week. I'm surprised I didn't see anything about him getting fined.
He did.
There's no way he didn't. So that fight was craziness. I'm surprised there were no ejections. But Corey Linsley coming away with a fine after that.
That's weak. It's just weak. The NFL can't figure it out. They can't get it right in these situations. But they've proven that they can't get a lot of things right. They botch a lot of things that are easy.
Alex asks if the Packers should draft another wide receiver.
Yes, they should.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they should.
You just drafted 3. With a new coach, you're probably going to bring in some veterans. Maybe we see a low-pay veteran come in at the receiver position. But I mean, you got Jake Kumaro. What else do you need, Jason?
So you're going. So you're saying Adams and MVS are your outside guys.
Yep.
EQ's your slot guy.
Yep.
Geronimo's back.
And Jamon Moore is a big question mark. That he's supposed to have all this talent.
Well,
he was supposed to be the top guy. But I just think with those 3 guys still having Geronimo Allison, who showed some promise, I don't think there's a need to draft one. Maybe you bring in a cheap one.
They got a lot of picks. I didn't say first round.
Right. No, I understand.
They have a lot of picks.
I'm just saying I don't know that you use it. And, they're gonna pick the best player available, and if that's a receiver late in the draft, sure, fine. But I don't think that's something they need to do with the draft they had last year. Jamon Moore has had a disappointing season. To be the last rookie to actually see the field on offense at the position is a big surprise. I thought that he would be the first. So, until in the preseason when he was dropping the football all the time and those kinds of things. But Jamon's got to have a good offseason, and he's got to come back ready to go.
Well, he's also the victim of – I should use the word victim. Maybe that's not the right term. He's also dealing with the fact that of where he was drafted. So that's Green Bay's – they drafted him where they did, and he hasn't had a great rookie season. Jason Spriggs, another example. That's a guy that Ted Thompson moved up to draft in the second round back in 2016, and he hasn't proven to be consistent. He's had some games where he was okay, but he hasn't proven to be consistent. So this just goes to show everybody who – so if you're a Packers fan who's on the train of get the draft pick and you're looking forward to the draft, just remember the percentages are not always in your favor, and there's a chance that you're going to get it wrong. You have a surefire pick that you think is absolutely going to hit and be a contributor, maybe not. It's not any foregone conclusion. And look at 2015 and look at several of the last drafts. Dayton Jones isn't even in the league anymore. Nick Perry's about to get shipped off after 7 seasons. We won't see him back. So there's just it's but then you got Kenny Clark, and that was a hit. So hopefully that's what they have more of moving forward. So offensively, not a whole lot else really to be said. It's got to be quick tempo, quick passing. Randall Cobb becomes important. He's got to catch the football today.
I think Randall Cobb has another Bear killer game.
Okay, I hope so. But I will tell you this. The Bears are aware of this interception streak, and this defense, if there's a defense that can get after them and make a mistake happen, and I think Aaron Rodgers will be very careful with the football today. I hope. I don't think I'm as worried. I'm not as worried about him throwing an interception as I am about him fumbling, because he's trying to hang on to the ball and move around in the pocket where there's no time and no space.
as you can hear, there's Packers fans filing in. The game is coming up. It's Bears week. It's going to be a full room at the Watershed. If you're in Arizona, make your way down to Tempe and get to the Watershed. Don't miss out. Some great food. I'm looking forward to the gumbo because I eat it. I think I've eaten that like the last 5 weeks. So
it's good.
Yeah, it is very
the
good.
Cheese curds. I'm all about the cheese curds.
So get down to the Watershed. If you're in Arizona, make sure you get down to the Watershed. We're going to have a good time today.
Also, the girls.
Yes.
Also, the girls behind.
There's some optimism.
Little love to the girls behind the bar. They make
right.
the best Arnold Palmer mix I've
Jason
ever.
drinks a gallon
of
Arnold Palmer.
I don't know. I don't even want to know the secret. It should stay a secret. Don't give away the recipe, girls. All right. So, old fashions. That's right.
That's right. The old fashioned is good.
I have been known to have to pay a debt in the form of an old fashioned because
in week
I am
one,
a pessimistic
right?
Packers speaker.
You guys should have another bet today for an old fashioned.
Just for fun.
Okay.
All right. Special teams.
Special teams. Let's move on.
All right.
Special teams.
This to send the Packers into the NFC Championship game. It is good. The Packers are moving on. And Mason Crosby, a hero for Green Bay.
Crosby 2 years ago hit a field goal to put the Packers over.
Yep.
Was it an extra point or a field goal?
I don't remember.
Put the Packers over and steal a win at Soldier Field when it looked like the Bears were going to win. So Crosby could become important today in the short game, the kicking game, especially if points come at a premium. Jamon Moore, we were talking about on offense, was returning kicks last week, right?
Yeah, but eventually, well, at least in the punt return situation.
Punt. No, not punts. Kickoffs.
So we'll see if Jamon gets to keep that role, but Alexander last week with a little bit of a botched punt return, a muff punt. And the next time out, who comes out? Randall Cobb. They bring out Randall Cobb. I think the Packers will go with Randall Cobb today as the punt returner, and maybe we see more Jamon as the kick returner. He's got to continue to grow into a role.
Just understand, I'm sure Packers fans are smart enough to know, kick return and punt return are not the same thing. The same guy should not necessarily be doing both. Some teams do have the same guy doing both because they're sure-handed, but the mentality and the approach to kickoff return versus punt return are not equal. They're not the same.
Very different. So I'd like to see Jamon continue to grow in his special teams reps, and I'd like to continue to see him getting the ball in his hands and see what he can do. I mean, the guy has high-end speed. They should be able to put him into that situation and actually see him at some point break off a big play.
Yeah.
So Jamon needs to continue there. I think for punt return, they have not had any success with anyone this season. Stick with Randall Cobb. It's the safest choice. I'm not putting Tremont there again. I don't think that it's worth risking what he does for the defense to have him on special teams.
Well, your future in the slot, Randall Cobb is not that guy long term. So
yeah,
use him. You got to win this game. You got to win this game. This is like a playoff game. So what do you do when you get in the playoffs? What do baseball teams do when they get in the playoffs with their pitchers? They use them differently. You've got to be smart and use your best players now. You can't afford mistakes. You got to put your best guys in the best position.
Yep.
There's no longer room for being conservative and trying to save guys this and that. Like, no, this is it. You want to make something of this season? Put your best guys out there. I think Randall Cobb should be returning punts. Jair Alexander focus on playing defense. On special teams, the Bears last week, interesting thing that happened. They brought the punt team out, and then they tried to swap the entire punt team for their offense in a quick 11-on-11 swap, and they would have pulled it off if somebody hadn't run a referee over. And they had to kind of slow down the pace of the game because a referee got knocked over or, whatever it was. That's the kind of stuff that Chicago's doing this year and being creative, and I expect to see some trickery, and this could be an area where we see it is on special teams.
Right. I don't care about whatever Nagy said about not caring about the rivalry, the record recently. I don't believe that he actually thinks that. He wants this win, and the Bears are going to try to pull some stuff today. I mean, Matt Nagy in his first year as a head coach comes in and loses a game to the Packers where they should have won, and Aaron Rodgers comes out and absolutely dominates you in the second half. I would say there's probably some desire for revenge there. I would say there's probably some hope to even things out, and it's for the playoffs too. So I think, here we go. King says Favre head coach. Anyways, he's kidding. He said Favre, so you know that's a joke. I hope that's a joke.
Favre Barbara.
Favre. Anyways, so special teams-wise, I think the Packers need to play it safe. Randall Cobb needs to be the punt returner. Kicks today, you think they have any problems with kicks? It's late in Chicago, late in the season in Chicago. You think they have any problems with kicks?
Always. It's Chicago, and it's cold, and it's windy. Again, Mason Crosby past 45 anymore in the cold. Don't do it.
In the chat, Trubisky passes Cutler as interception king today. Well, I hope so, but the Packers haven't really gotten a whole lot of interceptions this
I
season.
doubt that happens. I think that Nagy is going to do everything he can to try to help the Bears win a very low-scoring game and just play the percentages and keep the percentages in their favor, which means don't get risky on defense. Don't let the Packers offense stay on the field.
Speaking of that,
keep your offense on the field. Tariq Cohen and Jordan
Howard
are going to be a problem, so we should probably talk about how they're going to defend.
Let's do that. Let's talk about the defense.
Defense. They're down in 17. More pressure. Ball is out. Green Bay's got it. Daniels again.
All right.
Okay.
How do the Packers survive today without Kenny Clark?
I have no idea.
Tariq Cohen and Jordan Howard are going to have a day. Yeah. They are going to have, each of them will have a big day.
Tariq Cohen's going to have a big day, I think. The only way the Packers are going to succeed is if the Bears make mistakes and shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
They're going to keep things safe and easy for Trubisky. The Packers defense will probably, let it happen.
What what can they do? I
short
feel like
passes over the middle, just take advantage of the lack of speed in the middle of the Packers defense. Oren Burks for some reason can't get on the field, and he's the fastest inside linebacker that they have. Blake Martinez is more sure in his assignments, but is he gonna be what they need? I just don't.
Look at that!
Look
at that! Yes.
The fantastic bar staff at the Watershed in Tempe. Yep. This is the best Arnold Palmer you will ever taste.
Yeah, I like it.
Fantastic.
I like it. And I'm drinking a Shirley Temple because I like to keep it
Here's
simple,
the thing, Jeremy. We talked about this on Wednesday, and I only feel worse about it as the days go by. Tariq Cohen is the type of player that has given the Packers fits over the past couple of years. Today, no Kenny Clark. You're going to have a secondary that's going to be uber focused on Trey Burton at tight end, Allen Robinson at wide receiver on the outside. Or do they have enough horses on defense to keep up with the Jordan Howard, Tariq Cohen show?
No. No.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, here's the problem. So, overall picture, big picture. This game lines up so well for the Bears because offensively the Packers are going to struggle to move the ball today. Unless they can get the ball out quick and the receivers can have some success winning their matchups, they are really going to struggle to move the ball. And so this can be one of those low-scoring, grinded out, whose running game can put it together, who can put the running game together kind of games. This can turn into that because of the injuries today for the Packers. This is wildly in the Bears' favor, and it is a huge concern to not have Kenny Clark. And not only that, they started the season with Muhammad Wilkerson, Mike Daniels, and Kenny Clark in week 1. All three of them are out. All three. That's painful.
Yeah.
It is very painful for the Packers to have this situation going into this game. With the playoffs actually still something you could hope for, they need to beat the Bears, and they're coming in the worst possible way that they can.
Yeah, and they had avoided major injury for a lot of this season. Now all of a sudden it's kind of caught up with them a little bit. So it's going to be tough going on the defensive side of the ball today. If it's a low-scoring game, that means everybody's in it. And if it's a low-scoring game, that also means that, I know we're talking about the Packers' defense, but that also means that there's no reason why Aaron Jones should ever come off the field today for the Packers if they have a chance and they can use all of their avenues and ways and weapons to try to beat the Bears defensively. Now, here's the deal. Statistically, the Bears' passing defense is right there neck and neck with the Packers.
Yep.
The difference is the Bears have 34 turnovers this season, 25 interceptions, and they lead the league in interceptions, and that's the difference is they're taking the ball away. So they're going to get after it today. they should have had one in week 1 that probably would have ended the game if Kyle Fuller hangs on to the ball.
Yep.
So the Bears have been in position all season long. It's because of the great work that their defense does up front, putting pressure on the passer, making quarterbacks nervous. And here's the thing. One of the reasons why is their scheme on defense is to keep the quarterback in the pocket, because if he's in the pocket, you cannot throw the ball away. You can't just chuck it away. You've got to throw it somewhere. And so quarterbacks are trying to throw it to the safest place on the field, and lo and behold, there's a Bears defender. They lead the league in picks.
Yep. So, going to be a tough game all the way around. I do think the Packers could win. They can win. That can happen today, okay? It's not all over because of the injuries, but it really, really doesn't help. I have an important question on the chat. Al asked, what's in the big green thing? Vodka, Al. I came prepared with my own. No, I'm kidding. It's just water. I get thirsty. So.
No, it's vodka.
It's vodka. It's actually a bunch of, it's old fashions. It's Packer juice. That's right. It's my green and gold Kool-Aid.
I joke. I joke and I kid. The only thing that should be in there is spotted cow. Jeremy.
What about a giant old fashioned? That'd be all right. Okay.
All right. Anyway.
Okay. So Packers defense, not feeling real confident today. Not feeling real confident in the offense. Not feeling real confident in the defense. So I think it's probably about time that we make our picks.
Okay. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You go for it.
Okay. So I have not said anything positive about the outcome of this game all week long.
Yep.
I don't feel great about it, and obviously Kenny Clark being out is kind of the tipper today. That any hope that I had really kind of went out the window there for me. I want to see the Packers surprise everyone and play well, and I love this team, and don't get it twisted. I am a Packers fan through and through.
Yeah.
I hate the Bears, and the Bears still you know what after this game is over with, regardless of what happens. I just think it's too tough.
Suck. You know what is suck. The Bears still suck.
Yeah, I think it's too tough. It's too tough of a scenario today on the road. They haven't won a game on the road all day, or all day. No, they haven't won a game on the road yet today, is a fact, all season. And they have to get one in probably the toughest place. Nobody saw this coming 3 months ago when the season started.
No way.
No one saw this coming. So, hats off to Matt Nagy and the Bears for what they put together this season.
Yep.
And, I think they're going to get in, and they're going to the playoffs this season, and the Packers are going to be challenged. I don't know what the final score is going to be. I'm more apt to say like a 21-17. I've got Bears 21-17. There you have it, folks. Watershed, not loving that.
Quick question.
All right.
Do we have any Bears fans here yet? Down there's a Bears fan. Hey, just so you know, Bears fans, the Bears still suck, no matter what. I was going to pick the Packers to lose, and I said a lot of negative things in the show because things aren't all, beautiful right now.
Here it comes, everyone.
All good.
Here it comes, people. Where's the sunshine and rainbows crowd? Get ready.
I'm picking the Packers to win today.
Cheers. Cheers to you, the Sunshine and Rainbow Coalition. I'm looking right at the camera.
I can't.
Cheers.
So on Wednesday, I said the Packers were going to lose on the Wednesday show. And I did this last week, too. I changed my opinion on game day. But the Packers are going to win today because the Bears still suck. That's right. They really suck.
That is knowing your audience.
Hey, I got to play to the crowd.
That is knowing your audience. And we've got a great crowd here at the Watershed.
That's right.
B, just west of McClintock on baseline. There's some beautiful
28-21.
It's a beautiful day. We're all wearing our shirt sleeves. There's a nice lake outside. It's a great scene.
It's a little
very
chilly right
It's very northern Wisconsin and summer-esque.
Yes,
all the boats,
that's true.
all of the homes.
It
right?
It does look like Door County. It's a nice
little St. Germain
spot to visit.
Little St. Germain action going on there.
We have a prediction in the chat. Packers win 50-0.
And if you heard in the background, we have a 28-21 Packers prediction right here in the front row.
That's right. I'm actually going to go low score. I think the Packers win 14-6. It's an ugly game.
You have the Bears not even scoring a touchdown.
Yep. Packers defense comes out and stomps.
Okay, just remember, everyone. What did I say? 21-17.
I can't quit. I
just want everyone to remember. Aaron Rodgers. Interception-free streak.
It's not going to end today.
Jimmy Graham over the middle.
You think stop it.
The ball bounces off of Graham's hands and falls gently into the arms of a waiting Bears defender.
Way to bring down the mood.
At some point today.
That's right.
I didn't say that's how they're going to lose or why they're going to lose. I'm just saying that's what's
that streak ends today. That's not it.
It's going to be in a dumb, cheap way. It's not going to be a bad throw. It's going to be a dumb, cheap, stupid mistake by a receiver, and it's going to go in the stats as an interception, even though it shouldn't be a pick.
All right, that's enough. That's enough of this.
You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow me at Jason Prone. You can follow Jeremy at JeremyRVDL. You can follow the show at CHTV Live. We'll be back on Wednesday to talk about this game.
That's
preview
right.
next week's game against the New York Jets for whatever it matters. If it matters, we'll see.
Make sure you're
following us though, because we're doing some giveaways. Are we doing one today?
We're not doing it today, but I'll start it tomorrow. We're gonna give away a toaster this week, a Packers toaster.
Okay.
So if you want to win a Packers toaster, make sure you follow us on Twitter at CHTV
and
Live.
not just a toaster with the Packers logo on it. It actually
embeds
the Packers logo onto the bread.
That's right.
All right.
Okay. Cool. So we're doing a sausage toss competition at halftime. Dan's bringing me the news, so look forward to that. Packers fans, thanks for listening to the show. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page. Make sure you click that like button if you enjoyed the show, and follow us on social media. That's the only way to win the prizes.
And win the prizes, absolutely. All right, so for Jeremy and Jason, this has been another pregame edition of Cheesehead TV Live.